What? I finished work. I'm allowed to enjoy a beer. In this episode of Build Series Sydney, we talk to British band The Vamps, who've had over 4 billion streams since 2012. We talk about their brand new album, Cherry Blossom, and their love of touring. This is Build Series Sydney. This is Build Series Sydney, a show that we usually do in the morning. But today, it is beer o'clock for me, while my guests are probably sipping coffees, enjoying themselves on the other side of the planet in the motherland. My name is Danny Clayton, and this is my pleasure to welcome the hardest touring, internationally successful British rock band, The Vamps, to Build. How are you doing, boys?
Yo.
What's up?
Good morning, afternoon and evening, wherever you're watching from.
God save the Queen. It's good to have you here. It's good to see you doing the most British thing ever, which is sipping on a cup of tea. Is that?
I'm in the process of making a cup of tea at the moment. Yeah, you know what? It sounds so British, but it is. I need a cup of tea in the morning. That it's got to be done to wake me up.
The fresh milk, straight from the cow's teat.
Straight
morning.
Yes.
I mean,
little Daisy in the back. No,
if we are going to be cliche, what I wasn't going to reveal to you is that my beer is actually ready to go. So the moment I stop talking,
come on.
I'm
Cheers.
frothy. But I mean,
What are you waiting for? Crack it open. Let's go.
I wouldn't do that. That would be disrespectful. Look, guys, we have a lot to celebrate. So, I mean, firstly, congratulations on the new album, Cherry Blossom. It's been a hot minute since we've got some music from you. So how do you celebrate releasing a new album, new singles at a time like this?
I feel like we're going to find out. We haven't really released an album during Corona, so it's going to be an interesting one. Usually we'd go mad. Usually we'd, be going hard and raging around the town. However, this time we can't. So I think we're going to probably just have a nice little get together and just get
Six.
absolutely gone. It's together as a four.
This is the thing. You can have 6 people together, so it's like picking the two additions to the 4. Maybe we are better off just keeping it 4, because if you add the 2, you're going to, we'll probably upset a few people. So just keep it us 4, have a great night, us 4, and then down the line, have a big night.
Yeah. I mean, that's one of the things I like about some of the new tracks, or particularly Married in Vegas. It captures this mood of joyous self-destruction when you go out and you know you're going to get a little bit sideways. So when was the last time you were all sideways together?
We had a night after we shot the music video for Better about 4 weeks ago or so.
Months ago.
And afterwards, just literally, it's been the first time in, I'd say, years actually, that it was just the 4 of us, and we had a few drinks, and it was quite a wild night actually, to be fair, in the end. But yeah, it's the first time in a long time that it's just been the 4 of us. Normally there's like other halves or some of the crew or some of our mates, but it's just the 4 of us. It was really, really nice.
So when you think of all of the wild things that the Vamps get involved in, when you say it was a pretty wild night, what defines wild by your context?
There was blood. Genuine blood.
You know what?
Was
That
had.
night, that was the night of blood, sweat, and tears. Genuinely, They were all in there. And that sounds like an exaggeration, but that was the truth. There was blood, sweat, and tears that evening. So probably
definitely vomit chucked in the middle of that sandwich as well.
Yeah. There's a lot of there's a lot of liquids. There was a lot of liquids and juices flowing that evening. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, this is the obvious question, but whose blood, whose tears, whose sweat? Let's break it down one by one.
Everyone's sweat. I think everyone got sweaty, and then it was my blood, which is great.
On the
And
knuckles? Was it knuckles?
No. I'm a lover, not a fighter. But I ran into a wall basically, and like hit my head open. But you know what? If you ever hurt yourself, the one person that you need there is Tristan Evans, because Tristan Evans is like a Mother Teresa of the situation. He came in, he looked after me, got me in the tactic. Like, yeah, it was amazing, man. He was a G.
But also,
and then the tears were all about
still slowly, but slowly towards legless at this point as well.
Well, don't have
we'll
me
help
there
each
because
other
I
out.
literally was legless, asleep on the sofa. I'd passed out. I'd passed out about 10. It didn't go well.
I left at about. Bear in mind, right? So we need to give some more context. We started drinking at about 3 PM, so we got to this bar at like, I'd say like 7 o'clock. It was very civilized. So I left at 10 after what I thought was a lengthy drinking episode, but like we kind of gone over the climax of the night. We'd all like had a big hug, like had a bit of a cry. And then I left thinking my fiance was a bit ill. So I was like, okay, I'll go home. And then I thought we were all going home. And then the next morning I was on a run and Connor called me and he was like, did you not hear what happened? And I was like, what? No. And then Brad called me at the same time and then sent me this video of Tristan like holding him. Like it was like in like, it looked like they were in a cave. It was like pitch black other than like a light flashed on the back of Brad's head. And he was like, oh, like, what the fuck has happened? Like, it's so funny, that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
Well, gosh, I mean, it was worth celebrating, I guess. The music clip was a huge success. It's this explosion of neon pink and delightful party blouses, which I seem to think is a top-notch fashion choice. But a lot of punching going on. Brad, I did want to know if you were, in fact, a fighter prior to this. Did you box a lot? Is this something that was new to you? Because you did look quite comfortable.
Thank you.
That sweaty, sexy.
I'm glad that I got that across. No, I'd never done any, but I went to my mate's like boxing gym when I was about 13. And you couldn't have seen a kid more out of place. I was just like, I shouldn't have been there, man. But we wanted to, the whole song's about kind of like overcoming self-doubt, essentially, and kind of facing your inner demons to get to a place of contentment and happiness and kind of like positivity and set in the context of a relationship. But I think a lot of those journeys are very much internal battles, so the whole boxing element was to represent that and that kind of internal fight. So I did do a couple of boxing lessons prior to the video, so that maybe makes it look like I'm a little bit handy. But you know what, it just like, you just take the clips. What you don't see is the half an hour of just like flailing, and then there's one decent punch, and then they just take that clip. So I really enjoyed it though. It was fun.
One thing it did really manage to capture is that kind of energy and the excitement. And all it made me think of was how great it would be to see that particular song performed live. In fact, when we do listen to the songs from Cherry Blossom, it feels like this album is so perfect to be taken onto a big stage. Is this something that you had in mind before you even started putting the songs together?
When we're writing, we always kind of keep live in mind. We're, playing live shows is one of the things that is really important to us, always has been important for us to kind of put on a show for the people who are spending their money to see us, you know what I mean? As you should. So every time we write a song, we think, will this go down well live, and has it got the energy and has it got the emotion? And I feel like this whole, this album, we always bear that in mind, and I feel like there's always different parts of the show in this album, and there's always different emotions to tap into whilst you're playing. So we're super excited to play Cherry Blossom live. I feel like a couple of the ones that stood out for me live will be, Married in Vegas, obviously. And I think Would You would be really cool as well, because it's just different to what we've done before, and it will add something cool to the live show.
Yeah. I mean, while we're speaking of live, I really enjoyed the Cherry Blossom sessions, the
stripped
the
back
Blossom session.
The Blossom sessions. It was really nice seeing a song like that pulled back. In some ways, giving that kind of perspective for a song that is so large makes you appreciate the largeness even more. So what was it like playing songs that have really kind of barely even had a chance to live on an an on-stage setting, and already to kind of give it a new breath of life when we haven't even had a chance to experience it at a concert?
It's good, man. I think a lot of the songs have been like written in that sense. Written like if they can be sat down and played on a piano with nothing else, they still stand up. So it's about really deep diving in on the lyrics and the melody and the chords. And then anything you add on top is just kind of like seasoning and sprinkling it around. So I think it's been really nice because we've stripped it back, and hopefully there's songs that you can kind of reimagine in a few different ways. So it's something that we've always done. We started off doing it with covers, reimagining other people's songs. So I think when we strip stuff back, it's like, right, how can we make this sound a little bit different, and how can we get to the heart of the song a bit more? So it's been really fun, and like you say, it's the closest we're getting to anything remotely live at the moment. So we've been enjoying doing them, and it seems to be going down well amongst the fans as well.
So something that really comes to mind when I look at you gentlemen, I see blokes who have spent a huge portion of their lives on the road, living out of a suitcase. And for many people, for most people, that kind of life would seem intimidating and uncomfortable. But for you, because you've lived it for so long, is there a safety and a familiarity with living while touring? And is normal life almost more intimidating at times? And Con, can we have a chat to you?
Go for it.
Did you ask that because we look tired? No, hey, it's early morning. It's early morning. I would not judge. No, okay. We've loved touring, I think, since the start of the band. It's something we've always wanted to do. And we've done it every year for the past like five years, and we wouldn't change any of that. 6 years, really. So, yeah, probably 6. Yeah, really. I don't know. I think it's something that we enjoy the most. It's probably our favorite part of it. And as Tris was saying, like we've imagined these songs live since they were written, and as soon as we can get on the road, then the better for us. That's what we love doing, and I think it is tiring, but it's also the best thing in the world. So yeah. Are you set on playing in Vegas purely so you can play Married in Vegas?
Come on, that's got to be the
Vegas is going to be a crazy show.
It's got to be like. It's so fun. It'd just be so fun. It'd be so fun. Like the whole throw the kitchen sink at the live show, do a big kind of. We're just so excited at the thought of it. I don't think we've ever we've played shows in Vegas, but I want to next time I want us to do like a full on Vegas production, so it looks like a Vegas show. It'd be so fun when we're out there. Hopefully soon.
I mean, this is probably a cliche, remark, but I mean, you could certainly save some times, James, if you did go to Vegas and finally get hitched. Because I did hear that you had to suspend or postpone your wedding. Any more news with that? Have you got a date?
It's next October. But I've already forgotten about it again. I had a real ability to just sort of let Kirsty do everything the first time round, and I think it's already happening again. So
wow.
Looking forward to it.
Okay, so look, before I do let you go, I did want to talk to you a little bit about the cherry blossom in itself, because obviously this is a plant renowned for growing in Japan, and it's a symbol of growth, of spring, but also about life's fragility and how fleeting it is. And I thought it was a really interesting piece of iconography for you to choose. And I was curious what it was about the cherry blossom, or was it a time in Japan? Did you think it captured this sound, this album? Tell me a bit about the cherry blossom.
It did stem from a trip in Japan. And I think when you're over there, we don't, like you say, we've toured for like 6 years, and I think we get to have snapshots of cities and places. But I think immersing yourself in a culture, you've got to have a bit of time there. And me and James spent like a week out in Japan after a tour at the end of last year, and James was with Kirsty, and then we were both at separate places, but immersing yourself into it and learning a bit more about Cherry Blossom, I think it just resonated with where we were all at individually. And like learning a bit more about the flower, and like you say, the idea that it's focusing on like the fragility and transience, which could very easily turn into quite a negative thought, which could be like, oh, it's all like, it's so fragile. But I think it's flipped on its head, and it's like, no, that just focuses on the importance of being present and being positive and moving forward. And I think that was the thing, and it's been an overarching theme throughout the album before Cherry Blossom was even born, to be turning negatives into positives. That's kind of what Better's about. Treading waters. The last line of the album is, first I got to work on me, and I think, which is a Treading Waters, a song about being lonely, but at the end of it, it's like, no, I'm going to use this time to work on myself. So I think the overarching theme of the album is taking these, what could be perceived as negative emotions and feelings and talking points, and just turning them into positives. And so Cherry Blossom just felt like this perfect serendipitous title and concept and theme that just works with the album.
I mean, that is just a perfect way to sum up the look, the feel, and the general vibe of Cherry Blossom. So I think that there is no final way to finish this chat then on that. So, gentlemen, it's been an absolute pleasure having you on Build Series Sydney. And I guess I can say cheers.
Enjoy your involved with that.
Cheers, Rich. Enjoy that beer.
Cheers, my boys. From Bondi. I will fly to Vegas if you play there. Have a good one.
Yeah, man. Thanks, man. Lots of love.